From delivering that satire to drawing it, one Seattle-based cartoonist is on an Al-Qaeda hit list for her work, and she's been in hiding now for 3 years. Dan Springer has that story out of Seattle. Why exactly is she in hiding? What came her way, Dan?
Well, Bill, as you heard from those comics, a lot of cartoonists around the world are standing up for free speech and saying that they will not be silenced. But the fear is real and it's changing lives. Molly Norris became a target of Muslim extremists for a cartoon she drew in 2010. The FBI told her at the time that the death threats were real and credible and urged her to go into hiding, and she's been virtually underground ever since, according to a friend that we spoke with. The cartoon was in response to death threats received by the creators of South Park for an episode depicting the Prophet Muhammad. Using satire, Molly Norris argued that the answer was really for a lot of depictions of Muhammad, so her cartoon advertised for an Everybody Draw Muhammad Day. Soon after that, American-born Muslim cleric Anwar al-Awlaki put out a fatwa on her head, essentially calling for Muslims to find her and kill her. It was right around that time that the Obama administration decided to target al-Awlaki for killing rather than to capture him and try him on terrorism charges. Molly Norris was a blogger who was frequently published in the Seattle Weekly. The paper said she changed her name, went into hiding out of fear of being killed. A fellow blogger says Norris has never gotten enough support from the government or the journalism community.
We are no longer a free country if we journalists can't criticize a religion that, for example, believes that apostates need to be killed.
About a year after that fatwa was issued, al-Awlaki was killed by a U.S. drone strike in Yemen. Bill?
How did the FBI determine the threat was credible, Dan?
Well, the FBI isn't saying, but there is a history of terrorist attacks, of course, against journalists. Yesterday's mass killing at a French magazine is just the latest. ISIS has beheaded 2 U.S. journalists. Theo Van Gogh, a Dutch filmmaker, was murdered in Amsterdam by Muslim extremists. And Wall Street Journal reporter Daniel Pearl was murdered by al-Qaeda leader Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. So landing on an al-Qaeda hit list was enough for the FBI and for Molly Norris. And as you heard from her friends, she has gone into hiding. They haven't heard from her. They assume that she is around town somewhere using an assumed name.
Wow, what a life
Bill?
she has to live. Dan Springer, thanks. Out of Seattle on that. Martha.